Happy St. Patrick's Day, Cardano. Ready? Let's go. Okay, I thought we'd jump over and do a live stream as well. I know a lot of people are probably watching the normal video right now, but I thought it's a holiday. Why not live stream as well? How are you guys doing? Where's everybody at tonight? I see Truckdono, I see Nikki, Thomas Kirkpatrick, Chaz Begley. Where are you guys all at tonight? We've only got 11 people watching tonight, but I thought, hey, this is the best holiday of the year. Might as well jump on and just hang out. Have a little Cardano, whiskey, and chill, regardless of how many people are on. So you are the 13 right now. Truckdono says, I played a double time. Good morning, Cardano. Cardano is it Cardano STE? Cardano Sweet? How do I pronounce it? How do I pronounce it? Cardano STE. Is it Cardano Sweet? Chaz Begley, Chiang Mai, Thailand. All right. What part of Chiang Mai are you in, Chaz? Thomas Kirkpatrick says LA, unfortunately. Cardano STE. Cardano Sweet says Manchester, UK. Truckdono and the PDX. Time Travel Trader, Silicon Valley, Mr. T3. It's a super small icon, but I believe that is an Australian flag. Am I wrong? Is that an Australian flag? I think it's an Australian flag. Oh, Cardano Steven. Oh, I apologize. I had that completely messed up. Cardano Steven, my apologies. I will pronounce that correctly. Hopefully forever now, but correct me if I try to call you Cardano Sweet. I now understand you're a Steven, not a Sweet. So this is important. This is important. I think identity is an important thing. And in Cardano, we're probably more focused on identity than anyone else. Mr. T3 says, yes, Australia. Okay. Glad to see. I mean, literally the flag was like a third of a centimeter in my dashboard view here. So it's not that I hadn't ever seen the Australian flag. It's that it was so tiny I could barely tell. /ish says, hi guys. Dorian says, hey, good morning, AOS. What is prize on AMA? Yeah, I think this is a great holiday. St. Patrick's Day, at least where I am, this is a great holiday that everybody seems to enjoy. And I thought, why not have a video, normal video, and just jump on and have a little Cardano whiskey and chill session. David Hernandez says, why the mask? Why the mask? Because I have no desire for the entire world to know that I'm a huge Cardano enthusiast. That entails a lot of things that I'm not interested in. And also, I like this channel to be focused on Cardano. If I am a known person, then this channel will become about me at least a little bit. And I don't really want that. I want this channel to stay focused on Cardano. I don't want it to be about me at all. So that's why the only way I know how to do it is to stay anonymous and make it just about Cardano. George CC says, hi, everybody from Sweden, Stockholm. Excellent. Tommy Crypto says, happy St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day, Tommy Crypto. Dorian says, great idea. We'll skip the whiskey a little early here. Yep, I understand. I know it's very early in Europe for a lot of the listeners. So apologies. I know I'm definitely enjoying the whiskey here. It's where I am. I think a lot of you guys know that I kind of move around a little bit. Sometimes I'm on one continent and sometimes I'm on another continent. And the continent I'm on right now, it is late night, so it's okay for me to drink whiskey, but I definitely appreciate all of you who are waking up early in the morning. I know you can't enjoy the whiskey right now, and that St. Patrick's Day was yesterday for you, so I completely understand. George CC says, I respect your mask, bro, and your integrity. Keep on doing. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Where's everybody at tonight? Where's everybody at? So I know George is in Sweden. Where's everybody at? Nito says, good morning. Good morning, Nito. Is it Nito or Nido? I like both. I like both, just for the record. And this is a little bit different. Normally, we do a little news, we do a little commentary, a little analysis, a little discussion. But this one is it's St. Patrick's Day. So we're just doing a little whiskey, Cardano, and chill. I'm hoping this is kind of Daniil Wiggins says US. All right. Where you got mask? Ooh, somewhere, Nito. First one, Nito. You're saying it's Nito, not Nido, right? Nito. Truckdano and pizza. Crypto Nomad. Crypto Nomad is asking me a question which I will not answer. Happy St. Patrick's Day, Thomas Kirkpatrick. Yes. Okay, Nito. Okay, I'm gonna assume that means it's Nito. Okay, I like to identify people correctly. So happy St. Patrick's Day, guys. You going to Rare Bloom event? It depends on if I'm in North America or not. That's kind of a question mark right now. Slash ish says Geo, if I ever visit Sweden, hook it up with a friend. That would be kind of cool. I would love it if the Army of Spies people were visiting each other on different continents. That would be excellent. Brian Teglo says St. Charles, Missouri, watching here. Oh, welcome, Brian. Glad you joined us. Tommy Crypto says Canada. I love it. Jay says Australia. Excellent. Will you wear the mask to the event? No, I mean, part of the beauty of being anonymous is that I can just show up to the event, and as long as I keep my mouth shut, nobody will recognize me. I mean, that's part of the beauty of it. I can just kind of circulate and for any Cardano event, I could just show up and circulate, and nobody would recognize me. I think if I wear a Biden mask, people. Jay Palermo says wear a Biden mask. I think if I wore a Biden mask, people would ask questions. So for anybody just jumping on, I know we just doubled the number of people online. But if for anybody jumping on, this is just a Cardano whiskey and chill session. We're just chilling tonight. I know a lot of people are still over watching the video, but I thought it'd be a nice surprise. And this is the best holiday of the year, at least in my neck of the woods. So I thought it'd be cool if we just chilled, just did Cardano whiskey and chill. Slash ish says, buddy, someone is looking through your window. Yep, definitely no one is looking through the window. I haven't watched the screen, but as far as I know, no one is looking through the window. George CC, very nice. Look at this, hooking up the fellow Army of Spies member. He says, "You're welcome to visit, my brother. I'm here to just hook me up, and we'll fix something for you to have a great day-ish." That's very nice of you. Very, very cool of George CC. Made you look. Yeah, no, seriously. I mean the problem is the curtains are on this side of the glass. So if anybody was somehow reaching through the glass, then I've got very serious security problems right now. So I definitely looked. If you guys tell me somebody's looking through the window, then there's a very serious security breach. Wino docs. So I just kind of covered this, Joe H. I want this channel to be about Cardano. If I tell you guys, if you guys know who I am, then it'll become at least a little bit about me. And I don't think that's the most interesting thing here. I honestly think that Cardano is the most interesting thing. I don't think I'm the most interesting thing at all. So I'm like, why don't we just stay completely focused on Cardano and not make it about me at all? Because I think most YouTubers, and this is not a knock on any YouTuber at all, but I think most YouTubers make it about them, and then the channel kind of becomes about them. It's about what they're doing and who they are and all that kind of stuff. And I honestly think that's a distraction. I think we'll be best served if we keep it focused on Cardano. So that's why no docs. So did you guys do anything fun for St. Patrick's Day? I know not all of you will have been celebrating necessarily. Nito says cold and sunny Norway. What part of Norway are you in, Nito? But Chaz, definitely not Satoshi. I will tell you straight up with absolute certainty that I am not Satoshi and have nothing to do with Satoshi. Nito says Oslo. Okay, Nito says Oslo. Okay. Okay, fantastic. Brian Teklo says it's the girl from Wedding Crashers that said, I'll find you that's looking through the window. I hope not. I hope not. Wife just pinched me. My wife pinched me. I think you're on the west coast of North America, right, Truck Donald? Maybe I'm screwing that up, but I'm guessing that's because you're not wearing green. Is that what it is? Daniel Wiggins said just work and groceries. I think that's a lot of us. I think it's a Thursday night in North America, so for St. Patrick's Day, so a lot of us were working for sure. Shroom Nikki says I had a lot of food coloring today. Are you referring to the green coloring of food that happens? I know you're in Hawaii. That happens in North America. I don't know if that's the thing in Hawaii as well, but in North America mainland, there's a lot of green types of food. Is that what you're referring to? Jay says that's what Satoshi would say. I can promise you, you can eliminate me from the list of possible Satoshis. Jay Crawford echoing the same sentiment. Promise, I'm not Satoshi. Are you gonna start a Discord for the AOS? There's only so many hours in the day, and it's super hard just to moderate out the fraudsters. We talked a little bit about the Cardano police in the video that came out at midnight, and I really, really don't ever want anybody to be defrauded by any of these fraudsters who are pretending to be me. And on Discord, it's just like an added moderation burden, and I don't. It'd be hard to find the hours in the day to do it. So that's the main problem. I would be totally down for people to have a Discord or Reddit. People have talked about a Reddit in the past, but I really worry about the being able to moderate it. And I would feel super bad if I didn't moderate something and somebody was defrauded by one of these bad guys. So okay, yep. Truck Donald says yeah, yep. West Coast. Jay Palermo says, I read about your vision on Army Spies use case for a Cardano DApp platform. Hypothetically, how would you see your app working right now? Yo, oh man, I've thought about this. I have thought about this so much since the start of Ukraine. I'm almost hesitant to get into it here because I'm a little bit. You could say I'm a little bit of an IR realist, not 100%, but I'm a little bit of an IR realist, and yes, I think there would be a huge use case for the Army of Spies platform in Ukraine, but I don't want to get into that too much because it gets kind of serious. That topic can get kind of serious, and I don't want to weigh people down with that too much right now. But we could devote a whole hour to that sometime. But I don't want to dive too much in that right now because that could get kind of serious. But yeah, I mean, Ukraine, basically, the situation in Ukraine is exactly what I designed that platform for. George, celebrating Purim. Excellent. You could join. You can join the Knights of Cornucopias Guild. We'll keep your identity safe. I'm definitely in that Discord. I don't know what the Knights of Cornucopias Guild are. As long as I don't have to rap, you definitely don't want me rapping at all. So I know that's a part. I know that's a part of Cornucopias. We've definitely got the what is he called? The Lord of the Corn or the I'm probably screwing up his name, but tell me what Knights of Cornucopias are. As long as it doesn't involve rapping, I'm probably down. Did someone say shroom? Yeah, I think Nikki is on top of that subject category for you. Yes, I am. Are you up on the Cardano pizza pineapple debate? I will weigh in on a lot of different international relations topics, and that's nothing new for me. But the Cardano pizza pineapple debate it's such a hot button issue. I hesitate to even weigh in on this. It's too controversial. It's too controversial. Um, broke Casso, in case you didn't see this from Crawford. Crawford's asking if you know him. Yeah, okay, Nikki, you're so it sounds like Hawaii, where you are in Hawaii is similar to where I am in North America right now. And yep, green food and green drinks everywhere. A lot of colored food stuff going on. A lot of colored food stuff going on. Okay. Nito says off to work, stop by to say hey and try to chill. Have a nice day, man. Thank you so much for dropping by, man. I really appreciate it, for real. Maybe the start of Army of Spies platform could be moderated for Discord and Reddit. Yeah, no, I mean, obviously, like, for people who haven't read the white paper, the whole idea of the Army of Spies architecture revolved around curation of forums to make it easier to discover hard to discover or obscure information. So you could say the curation involved in that platform was very similar to moderation of a Discord or Reddit. A little bit different, but in the same vein for sure. So yeah, I get what you're saying, Jay Plumero, for sure. Trip Down says the Cardano GPS beam idea scale proposal looks really interesting. I haven't seen that. Yo, Smiles, what's up, man? What did you do for St. Patrick's Day? Are you having a good St. Patrick's Day? Is it over for you or ongoing? How's your St. Patrick's Day? Min swap flipped, Sunday swap today in TVL, Cardano TVL keeps rising. I actually covered that. I actually covered that in the video that came out at midnight. I know it kind of disrupted everybody because I threw this video up at the same time the video came out, but that was actually a big part of the video tonight that came out at midnight. Um, okay. Yeah, no, I know about Orbis. I follow all the Ardana news pretty closely. Have you done any homework on the layer 2 rollup solution, Orbis, that Ryan Matovu from Ardana is focusing on? Seems to be pretty confident in the protocol. Yeah, I followed what what Ryan of Ardana has mentioned about Orbis pretty closely. So I'm waiting to see more. I'm waiting to see more. Yep, we covered this. This is a reference to the dragon, Elizabeth Warren in the Senate. She hates crypto, guys. I tonight I elaborated a little bit on in the video tonight. I elaborated a little bit on why I think she hates crypto. You might disagree with me about why she hates crypto so bad, but I don't think you can debate that she hates crypto. Yeah, I'll love to see what Elon has to say about that. I know some people don't like Elon, but I find him to be quite hilarious. The most hilarious autistic man on Twitter with such a wide readership for sure. He's autistic, right? Am I screwing that up? I think Elon revealed on SNL that he's autistic. Okay, if we have to talk about it, Nikki's from Hawaii. So she's in Hawaii. I'm gonna say she's in Hawaii, so she's probably biased. But I'm gonna go ahead and say if you're in certain parts of North America, pineapple on pizza is everywhere. It's everywhere. So I'm not gonna say I haven't encountered it over the course of my lifetime in certain parts of North America. It is definitely everywhere. I never would have guessed it was controversial. It's so ubiquitous where I am in North America. And, obviously Nikki, she's in Hawaii. So I feel like we can say she's biased on the pineapple issue. Okay. ApeCoin. Yeah, I saw the ApeCoin stuff today. I don't know what to say. I mean, it's like, man, I lived through the Mount Gox bubble and burst. I lived through the ICO 2017 bubble and burst. And there were big trends. There were trends during both of those bubbles. Um, and I see that ApeCoin is a thing and that it's going to get a lot of press, and maybe that's all I can say about it. Smiles says, "Can you see Russia from your back porch?" He's trying to. I don't know if this is directed at me, but if it is, it's a question about whether or not I'm in Alaska, which is a place. Certain parts of Alaska, you can definitely see Russia from your back porch. That's true. Colonel Heber says, "Oh mate, missed the start. Was chilling with my mums. Hey, hi AOS and Spies. What's news? Love your work, fam. Oh, thank you for joining, man. I appreciate it very much. Thank you for joining." So what's this pineapple pizza stuffs, guys? Yeah, I mean it's just like a fun rivalry over whether or not pineapple should be on pizza at all. I like it. I like this kind of stuff in Cardano. We're kind of playful because we're sort of the bad guys for the rest of the crypto space. I think we're back. Are we back? Can somebody let me know? I apologize. I don't know what happened there. We've never had any kind of problems like that. Truckdono has identified the problem. A leprechaun ate my camera. It definitely wasn't the camera. I'm not sure what it was. Okay, back. Okay. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Rito says loud and clear. Dorian says, yeah, man, I apologize, guys. I don't know what happened. My Wi-Fi signal was very strong, and I've definitely got Google Fiber here, so and very high tier. So Chaz says, pay the bills. No, I did. Definitely got the highest level, I think, of a Google Fiber I can buy here. So pineapple, that was our mistake. We talked about the coniferous issue, which shall not be named. Apparently I shouldn't say it. I think I talked about something coniferous. It's not even really coniferous, but the name sounds like it's coniferous. Apparently I shouldn't say it. There's Time Alchemist. He says, let's go. No, the signal was strong. The signal was strong. I think this was in the streaming software. I think this was an outage in the streaming software. At what point will you dox yourself? Never. I hope never. I hope never. Only against my will. Only against my will. Okay, let's get back to normal business here. I apologize for that outage. I think these things happen. We're still in the early days of this streaming technology. I think we've been able to stream for a long time, but there's still apparently outages. So Michael E says, I have a noob question. Shoot, my friend, shoot. Okay, he says, AOS, here's a total noob question. I'm confused about a lot of the crypto stuffs, particularly this. How would a regular person on the street use one of the Cardano platforms? Continued. Which platform? It completely depends on which platform. Are we talking about a decentralized exchange, a decentralized lending platform, a decentralized synthetics platform, something else? Depends on what we're talking about here. Have you covered the community advisor opportunity and catalyst? Do you mean have I covered it on, have I talked about it on the channel, or do you mean have I thought about being one? Like a smart contract. Okay. So, okay, Michael. Good question. So a smart contract is just when we say smart contract, what we really mean are scripts that lock assets. So we can apply scripts to assets that are at a certain address on the blockchain, and we can say, hey, these assets can only move from this address if the following conditions are met. And that's basically what a smart contract is. Smart contract, some people would argue it's a misnomer and that smart contract is not even the right name for it. I kind of agree with that at this point. Hey, when Mintmo, hello. Thank you for joining from Kenya. But Michael, yeah, no, I mean, smart contracts a little bit of a misnomer. You can certainly create contracts with scripts because they can limit the conditions under which assets can leave a certain address, and that can be used to create something we think of as equivalent to a contractual agreement. But imagine any business relationship you might have with someone. We can basically create constraints that match that business relationship on the blockchain. So, I mean, it depends on what kind of a relationship you want to have with someone. If it's like, hey, um, I will only buy, X amount of Y commodity from you if the price of Y commodity is Z. You can do that on the blockchain. That's like a thing that an individual party could do on the blockchain. You could say, hey, we're going to have an oracle deliver the Z price of Y commodity to us. And if it matches, if we hit Z price, then I will buy a certain amount of that commodity from you, but only if it hits that price. That's something you can do on the blockchain. I don't know if that's helpful. I hope it is. Keen says, I think it will become more like using an app store eventually. I think I'm not sure exactly what you're responding to, but I think we all agree with that. I think we hope that everything on the blockchain will become more like using an app store eventually. Royden Vickers, welcome. We are live now, my friend. You might have missed the section where we lost video for a second, but we are definitely live now. We're definitely live. Vergoden says Meld is trying to do something like the BlockFi card. I'm not sure what the BlockFi. Oh, you mean the card? Okay, the card from BlockFi. Okay, cool. Nope, Antlin, you were not having a stroke. We were having I think it was the streaming software. It wasn't my connection at all. I think it was the streaming software, which is, I believe, the same streaming software that Charles uses, and a lot of people use, but it's having some kind of difficulty. By the way, a lot of people ask me if Aunt Lynn is my aunt. No, that is her username. Aunt Lynn and I are not related. I very much appreciate her being a part of the Army of Spies, but we're actually not blood relations, as far as I know. But it is I would say, a very nice username. Kiane says, an address like one from Ada Handle. Okay. Anline, yes, I am happy to be back. How much programming experience does someone need? Not a lot. I mean, if you use something like Marlowe, you can do visual programming. You're literally moving blocks there. Marlowe uses something called Blockly, and you're literally moving blocks around. You're just like moving a block in place, and the block says, like, party A deposits, X amount of ADA into the contract, and then the next block, determines what happens with that deposit. So if Marlowe becomes very useful, then you don't need much. I mean, that is programming, right? But you don't need classical programming experience too much. That's not really the reality right now. I mean, if you're creating a smart contract on Cardano, you're probably creating it in Plutus, which is a DSL, like a domain specific language of like a subset of Haskell. So you actually do need some programming experience. You're going to create a smart contract right now, but the hope is that Marlowe will open this up to non-coders. You've been Voldemortified. Basically, yeah. Wildman Robson Sprinter. I'm with you, man. I like this attitude. This is a good night for it. I like this attitude. Credit card. Yep, Vergoden. Yep, I understood. How's Cardano Beach coming along? Quite nicely. We're kind of just so we've got Cardano beaches in Pavia. I guess you call it maybe, so it's not actually, there are select sand areas in Pavia, but it's definitely on the waterfront. It's definitely on the mainland, and it's definitely definitely is mine. It belongs to the Army of Spies, and it's on the waterfront. So maybe we can call it waterfront property. No, to hell with it. We'll call it Cardano. We'll call it a spy beach regardless. But so we've got the spy beach. We'll call it a spy beach. Whether or not there's sand or not is kind of up to Pavia. I think they've designated the sand areas, but it's definitely on the water. There's 3 parcels on the water in Pavia. I've got many parcels on the sand in Ada Realm, and we've also got a couple of moon bases in Artifact Moon. And my goal is to create some hangout areas so we can have this kind of just sort of Cardano cocktails and chill on like Friday nights in those little islands within the metaverse. on like Friday nights, Saturday nights. We all kind of get together and talk about Cardano. That's my goal, but we kind of have to wait for the individual metaverse projects to build those out. Who knows who is actually the farthest along? I suspect it's Pavia out of those three. So I guess the next step would be they've kind of been slowly revealing, what's going to be permissible under the Pavia compatible asset standard. And I know some people are already building Pavia compatible assets. I'm sort of waiting for that to mature a little bit so we can actually build out what we want in the AOS Spy Beach on Pavia. But I'm excited for that. Very excited. I agree with that. I feel like Ant Lane is everyone's aunt. I agree. Do you guys say aunt or aunt? Even in within one continent, I find a diversity of answers to this question, and globally, there's definitely a diversity between aunt and aunt. I definitely grew up calling my parents' siblings aunts as opposed to aunts, but I appreciate the argument that they are indeed not insects. So I understand the other side as well. Okay, what do you think will happen if a day comes when all fiat off ramps are blocked by every government around the world? I don't think that'll happen. So. Let's imagine we have the worst case scenario where all the governments get together and they're like, let's mess up crypto. Let's mess up crypto. It takes power away from our central banks. Let's mess up crypto. I think you have a race to the bottom. I think you end up if that happens, and I'm not saying that scenario is going to occur at all, but if it does, then I think you have a race to the bottom, and there will be a lot of rogue nations that will happily race all the way to the bottom and will provide you with fiat off ramps. So we've seen this in gambling, online gambling for sure. A number of things. I won't go into I won't go into the various places where we've seen this. But whenever there is regulatory restriction, you have a race to the bottom, and there are nation states who will provide that service. Okay. Do you have a Cardano beach? The world of Cardano, the map is so cool. Can't wait to find out about the city layouts. No, I don't know too much about that one. World of Cardano. If it's the one I'm thinking of, I think I know which one that is, but I don't know too much about that one. So I'd be happy to learn more. So send me a link, and I'd be happy to learn more. Bob Hayes says it's 7 a.m. in the UK. I know you guys are long past St. Patrick's Day already. Yep, I know it's early in the morning for you guys. I actually have to be I have to actually have to do a little business communication with someone who is around that time zone all the time. So I know you guys are ahead. No worries. Wildman Robson Sprinter says, I've 1,000 ADA. Is this good for the future? Love the vids made. I cannot give you any advice on that. That's financial advice, which I cannot give, sadly. Spy Beach. Yep. Rodney Vickers says Spy Beach. Yes, it is Spy Beach. 3x3. No, it's just 3 parcels. I only so I minted 1 parcel, which turned out to be right on the waterfront on the mainland. The main little bit of land there in Pavia in the initial mint. And then I bought 2 neighboring parcels, but it's not a 3x3. It's just 3 parcels which are contiguous. We need low interest, high yield credit cards. Sound good? Sounds good to me. Aunt Lynn concurs. She says, you're all my nieces and nephews. Thank you, Aunt Lynn. Thank you. I like that. Brian Teglow. Yeah, that's the goal. That's the goal for us to have a little hangout place where we can just kind of go on Friday nights. I think it'd be fun. Some people might disagree with me, but I think it'd be fun if we had a little place we could go to in the metaverse. Hopefully multiple spots in the metaverse. If we're using the term metaverse to mean all of the different metaverse projects, hoping that they're all interoperable. I hope we have these multiple spots, and I hope I've picked up some parcels, which I hope are nice parcels in multiple projects, and I hope at least one of them becomes cool and someplace where we actually want to hang out. So that's definitely the goal. I would love to pay for gas in crypto. I would too. I would too. To me, it's all about the tax treatment. If I could pay for gas and not worry about capital gains, that would be fantastic. But I have the feeling even if I pay for gas in crypto, if the capital gains tax laws stay the same, then I still have to calculate my capital gains if I'm paying for anything in crypto, and that is not my favorite thing for sure. Brocasso, gotta work today. Thank you for joining. Appreciate it. Mike M says, I don't think governments want to block $2 trillion. I hope they don't. Okay, Luke says, I think in time, most all relevant intellectual infrastructure will be run on chain, utilizing oracles and smart contracts. The world is in a serious need for an upgrade. Hopefully, it's decentralized. I hope you're right, Luke. I hope you're right. Time Alchemist says top drip drops tokens. I don't even know right now. I don't even know. I'd be curious to hear what you guys think, but I don't know what are the top drip drops tokens right now. Are you interested in NFTs? And have you heard about the Benjamin's Group? Yeah, Dorian, I've heard of Benjamin's Group. Am I interested in NFTs? I'm interested in definitely interested in Metaverse NFTs, PFP NFTs. I'm not as into. I know it's a huge thing in crypto in general, including in Cardano. I'm not into PFP NFTs. Maybe that makes me a bad person. I don't know. You can all decide, but I'm not as into PFP NFTs. I understand people when people tell me they love them. I completely understand, and I'm really glad we have a vibrant PFP NFT scene in Cardano. I would be sad if we didn't, but for me personally, I'm not as into them. Zendra Vanderlinden says, World of Cardano rocks. You should really definitely look into this Unreal Engine 5 built fantasy metaverse. Okay, y'all, check it out. Definitely, I won't object to Unreal Engine 5, that's for sure. When Mintro says, I'm in on Unbound Earth, Pavia, and Carta Station. Okay, makes sense. I have seen Carta Station. That's the one with the little moon bases, and they have the moon rovers. Yep, I've seen it. Luke says, I landed a Pavia State right by what I think is the airport. What do you foresee the potential use cases could be for that location? I have no idea. I know the location you're talking about, but I have no idea. Would you agree that Cardano has less rug pulls than any other chains? If so, why do you think that's the case? I think it's our culture and our approach. I think the Cardano approach is sort of like build build for correctness first, monetize last. I feel like that's why we have less rug pulls than any other chain, and also why we have less hacks. Because Cardano is like build for correctness first, worry about monetization last. I think that's why. Okay. And Lynn says, I've always loved the Hawaiian usage of anti. I love and care about people, and I think it is sweet, hence my screen name. That's a beautiful reason. That's a beautiful reason to have your screen name. I agree with that. Wild Man Robson Sprinter. I won't throw that on the screen, but I believe they already do, my friend. I believe they already do. I think that's been highly publicized in the crypto scene. I believe they already do. I don't know if all North Americans will understand the lingo you're using, but I believe I do. Uh, no, but I'm glad they exist. I haven't used any of these burn mechanisms. So for those of you, maybe some people don't understand, but we have we have key pairs, right? We have like public keys and private keys, or public addresses and private keys that correspond to those addresses. So if you want to create a burn address, all you need to do is come up with an address for which you did not calculate the public address from the private key. So now in Cardano, Charles requested a long time ago that people create burn addresses, because so many people were asking about Cardano burning coins, right? Which doesn't make sense in Cardano, because Cardano, all of the coins are already spoken for. Like we didn't hold a bunch of coins in reserve so that we could burn them, down the road to, you know, bump the price. In Cardano, all the coins are spoken for. They're either, already owned by someone, or they're going to go, for block validation or something. In Cardano, we don't have this reserve of coins we can just like wantonly burn. So Charles requested that someone create a burn address you can just send coins to, and no one has the private key to it, so they're just burned forever, and no one will ever be able to create the private key that corresponds to that public address. And now we have it. I was kind of shocked that nobody created it right away. It's been like months and months and months, but recently we have one, and there it is. So the next time someone asks you when is Cardano going to burn coins, you can tell them, hey, go ahead and burn your coins. Send your coins to this address. And I believe that's the ADA handle for it, right? Time Alchemist says, love you all. What a team. What a family. Got to peace out, but this will be front and center in the morning. Cheers. Thank you for joining, Time Alchemist. Appreciate it very much. Okay. Thomas Kirkpatrick thinks PFP NFTs are overpriced. I guess time will tell. He says overpriced JPEGs. I know that will arouse some that'll make people pretty excited that you said that, but time will tell. We'll find out if they're overpriced or not. I think it's been a lot. Well, it's your last pod. Yeah. I think you're talking about. It's been a while since the last live stream, right? Yeah, it's been a little while. It's been a little while. Thank you, Antlin. I think I would probably personally take you up on that. Um, the whole algorithmic music thing Charles did the other day confuses me. Can you explain a little bit? We had somebody comment on one of the videos who actually makes, when I mentioned that in the video the other day, somebody who actually makes algorithmic music commented on that. So I'll leave it to people like them to go into the specifics of algorithmic music. But it's definitely gonna be a part of Crypto Bisons, that's for sure. Mahmoud Hayat, what's up, man? How's it going? Thank you for joining. Uh, Wildman Robson liked my response to his question, which I did not put on the screen. Peter V says, when do you see ADA finally taking off after Vassal hard fork and after more dApps are built and a higher TVL after the Ukraine-Russia war blows over? I know it depends on what BTC does as well. Let's go AOS. Thank you, Peter V, for jumping on and for saying that. I appreciate it. I have no idea. I have no idea. I actually have certain feelings on these issues always, but I can't give financial advice, and I think that falls into the category of financial advice. So I won't say anything, even if I could, even if there wasn't this sort of regulatory problem with providing financial advice. I don't have a high enough confidence in my ability to predict what's going to happen in these markets. I also don't have a high enough confidence in anyone's ability to predict what's going to happen in these markets. So I never say when I think ADA is going to take off, because I do have feelings on this and I do have an opinion, but I honestly don't think anyone can predict it, including myself. So I never say, because I don't have a high confidence interval, in my own opinion there. So I try to stay away from that one. Kiani says, in Singapore, we call every older guy an uncle and every older lady an auntie. Kiani, I think so I spend a little bit of time on another continent as well in addition to this one, and I think in the language there we're basically doing the same thing. I think we're kind of calling something very similar. I'll say something very similar. We do something very similar all the time. So I can understand that. Yeah, that makes sense to me. I think the Ethereum people hate it. Mike Kemp says, what do you think about JP Morgan owning Ethereum infrastructure and being sued? Yeah, we covered this on the channel in 2 back-to-back videos. I think the Ethereum people hate it because they know it's bad. I mean, it's the exact opposite of what we set out for. If you'd have told me in the early days of Ethereum, I think I bought Ethereum at 72 cents. After the ICO, I didn't buy it in the ICO, but I bought it shortly after the ICO, or at some point after the ICO, and it was like 72 cents. If you would have told me, sorry guys, if you would have told me then that Ethereum, like critical Ethereum infrastructure, would one day be owned by JP Morgan, I probably wouldn't have believed you. It would have seemed so unbelievable to me. And I think that's where a lot of Ethereum people are today. I think they can't believe where this has gone. So I don't envy them. I'm glad I'm not in their shoes. It's bad. I don't think any of them think it's good, for sure. Um, Mateo 5 Bolas says, will you be minting cornucopia's land or do you own any of the token? So, yeah, I'm interested in cornucopia's land. I don't own any of the token because prior to the announcement today, so there's an announcement today, they're going to start minting tokens, Copy tokens on the Cardano blockchain. But prior to today, it was all Binance Smart Chain. So I don't buy Binance Smart Chain tokens, so I didn't own any of the token. But as far as the land, the cornucopia's land is interesting to me for sure. Bob Hayes says, looking forward to Coti Jed stablecoins that will bring in some TVL. Yeah, I mean, the question, yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of discussion of the Shen token, which I believe is the reserve token of Jed. Jed is a really interesting tri-coin system. I've talked about it many times on the channel. I'm very interested in it. And people were not entirely stoked when they realized you had to be an accredited investor to invest in Shen. I actually understand why Coty did it. I think they're trying to be very conservative on the regulations. They're trying to stay on the correct side of the line and not take a lot of risks. And I understand why they're doing it. Sorry, guys. I understand why they're doing it. I think it's freaked some people out because we're kind of used to just like doing whatever the hell we want in crypto, even in Cardano. So I think people are freaked out by the accredited investor threshold for Shen. But yeah, I'm really curious to see where Coty and Jed go with that. I think it's going to be really interesting. It's a really interesting structure. The architecture of Jed is very interesting to me. Every day when you're talking about a gigantic financial institution like that, yeah, I mean they're getting sued, and litigation is just cost of doing business for them. They're gigantic. Yep, I 100% agree. Yeah, I mean that's kind of the joke. People are constantly asking why Cardano doesn't burn some ADA, and Charles is like, "Okay, cool. Let's burn your ADA first." And of course, the answer to that is like, "No, I don't want to burn my ADA. I want someone else to burn their ADA." And the thing they don't understand is that like they're used to blockchains where the founding entity of the blockchain just has a whole bunch of the base layer token in reserve, and burning it is kind of like this mercy upon the retail public. They're like, "Hey, we're gonna burn some of it so we don't like dump on your heads." In Cardano, that didn't happen. There's not this like reserve of ADA, and like IOHK and Emergo and the CF are going to come and like dump on all the retail investors' heads. We're not that kind of blockchain, and that's what people don't understand. Colonel Heber says, "I'm happy to sacrifice my bags to be inflamed to keep the burn maxis happy. I'm off for a run. Thanks to you for what you do, and see you later, Spies." Thank you for joining, Colonel Heber. I appreciate it. Bob Hayes says, burning ADA equals pineapple pizza. Very possible. This is very possible. JR says exactly. Where's the burn them all? Burn your coins. Mike says now AOS Pool is live. Have you thought about joining us Earth Node operators at World Mobile? I think you guys know I love World Mobile. I truly, truly love World Mobile. I think you need a lot of WMT tokens to be an Earth Node operator. Am I wrong? I think you need a lot. I definitely do not have I definitely do not have the amount required to be an Earth Node operator. But I do love World Mobile. Like I cannot help but love their mission for real. Matthew Adams says, "Great to see you live again, mate. Always look forward to Amos from yourself, the big boss." Thank you, man. I appreciate that so much. Token Jokin, what are your top three DApps you're looking forward to the most? Like I was saying, people ask this question quite a bit, and still, I mean, it's been I've said this forever, but it's still the truth. Like as far as mission goes, World Mobile, I can't help but love World Mobile's mission. So they're my favorite based on their mission. I don't know anything about the World Mobile token or the tokenomics or any of that. So I'm not talking about the token, but as far as the mission goes, World Mobile is my favorite for sure. I mean, how can you not how can you not get behind their mission? If you can't get behind their mission, it's like, do you even have a heart? Mike M says, "I know, but the fact that JP Morgan has influence over the network that controls Ethereum users' crypto usage." Yeah, no, I gotta agree. It's bad. Like it's not JP Morgan having this relationship with the consensus related entity. It isn't like kind of bad. It's like really bad. Trujano says, "Wasn't there an AI Twitter account that started spewing hate words and other inappropriate things? Hopefully, Crypto Bisons don't have lyrics." Yeah, no, I think I remember something about what you were talking about. Um, you're worried that Crypto Bisons we might have like if we have algorithmic music in Crypto Bisons, it might be like the NWA version. um, I don't know. I might be down for that. It depends on I wouldn't want the hate words, but if it's just explicit, if it's like NWA, I might be down, but I definitely don't want like hate words, depending on what your definition of that is. Um, but if it's like NWA, I might be down. But if it's like some hate speech, I probably won't be down. So, good point. Um, Michael Arazo, cheers from Helsinki. Cheers. Thank you for joining, Michael. I appreciate you jumping on, man. Is it hot in the helmet? No, no, it's not too hot. It's not too hot. I actually turn off the heat because it makes a little bit of noise. It's kind of noisy. Right where I'm sitting right now, the furnace makes a bunch of noise, so I turn off the heat, so the temperature actually drops a little bit. I don't get too hot. It doesn't get cold either, but I don't get too hot. Okay. No, okay. So Cardano is isolating one of the issues with the JP Morgan ownership. Like in the first video I did that covered this, we talked about MetaMask, which is some of the intellectual property bound up in consensus. The other piece is Infura, and Infura is maybe a bigger concern than the MetaMask piece. He says, don't a few IPFS hosts being used by Cardano projects using Infura? Probably. I mean, I I haven't looked into this, but I would guess yes. Very possible. I have no idea, but very, very possible. It's huge. The fact that JP Morgan owns these two, maybe has some ownership interest or some control over these two pieces of intellectual property. It's um it's super bad. It's super bad for Ethereum. I can't I don't know how they've been spinning it lately, but if I was in Ethereum, I would hate it. Yeah, I mean, they cognitive dissonance is their only route. I mean, if you're an Ethereum, you know, we're all about being bankless. I'm a bankless bro. Can't you see my bankless attire? If you're one of those guys and you find out that JP Morgan, possibly has an ownership interest or some kind of control over MetaMask and Infura, cognitive dissonance is maybe the only route that allows you to not self-destruct. I mean, it's terrible. Wildman Rob Spurter says, I was watching YouTube yesterday and they were saying in the future Cardano will be able to see your medical, financial, criminal history, etc. Is this true? I like my privacy. Um, I don't know what you were watching on YouTube, but I would say that is not Cardano's aim. And I don't know of any projects in Cardano that will allow Cardano. I mean, Cardano is a protocol, right? It's a bunch of software, but I don't know of any projects in Cardano that would allow, like the protocol to see your medical, financial, criminal history, etc. You know, I, I think I understand what they were probably trying to get at, but they're probably engaging in sensationalism. And no, I can say definitively that's not any kind of goal of Cardano. Um, Brian Teglow says, I love how you focus on the Cardano system instead of price. I've learned so much from you. I keep accumulating coins and causes. Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate you saying that. I appreciate you saying that. I try very hard to focus. I try hard to deliver the information that I myself would want to consume and not the information that will just cause like mindless viewing of the channel, the Fibonacci's style technical analysis. It would be easier to do that. Honestly, it'd be easier for me to jump on and just pull up trading view and draw a bunch of triangles. That would be way easier. I could do videos every day and be way, way easier, but I try to deliver the content that I myself would want to consume, and it's not Fibonacci's. So, okay. Ryden Vickers, thank you for jumping on, my friend. I appreciate it. Me too. Also looking forward to stablecoins. Antlane, I agree. The hard fork in June will be a major turning point. There are lots of dApps waiting to launch at that time. Totally agree. I think that's the case. Um, yeah, I also think it's hilarious. Those poor bastards. I don't even know what to say to them. Just like, sorry, sorry, you guys sold out. Let's see. Thank you for jumping on. Yeah, thank you for jumping on. Luke says, do you think the ERC20 converter will be ubiquitous, or do you think Singularity will run the roost? Do you think it's one or the other? I I don't know. So I've been thinking about this lately. The ERC20 converter. I think there will be use of the ERC20 converter. I think there'll be use of Singularity Net. I think there will be projects that just start, maybe that already exist in the EVM world that just mint some new coins in the Cardano world and don't even try to convert their, account balance EVM side coins. I think all these things will exist. I'm glad Cardano ecosystem, including Singularity, I kind of include them in the Cardano ecosystem. I'm glad we're pursuing all these things. I think that's the prudent thing to do. Okay. Yep, agree with this. I agree with this, Thomas Kirkpatrick. Cardano doesn't need to burn to stay relevant like BNB chain. I agree. Troctano says I made some NFTs that I couldn't unmint, so I burned them by sending them to burn it. I'd never sent ADA. Somebody definitely I received some tokens. I think a lot of people received probably the same token. And I considered sending it to the burn it address. Somebody even hit me up and said they'd received the same token, asking if it was some kind of like MetaMask-esque scam. And we kind of considered in our private messages sending them to the burn it address. Maybe I'll do that. Hey Renee, thanks for jumping on, man. Appreciate it. Thomas Kirkpatrick says I read Binance founder CZ burns all his personal profit of Binance tokens to inflate price to help ecosystem. Also, that he owns like 5 things and sleeps in hotels only. Yeah, no, I mean he's obviously like a very wealthy guy, but man, yeah, every time I see him, he's just like wearing a hoodie and talking about crypto. So I think because Binance is centralized, it's easy to kind of like try to paint Binance as like the villains. But at the same time, like as far as what I see of CZ as a person, he kind of seems like a cool guy. I can't lie. The dude is extremely wealthy and he wears hoodies all the time. And what he seems to want to talk about all the time is crypto. I can't help but I would have a hard time condemning that. I won't. You could point to the various projects of Binance and the impact they've had, and all the stake pools and all those kind of things. But if you're just looking in isolation at the dude and what he does, what he wants to think about, what he wants to talk about, it's it's a little bit different picture than just sort of like Binance, the monolith of centralization. So I think it's complex. Like a lot of things, I think Binance and CZ are complex. Hey, what do I know? Thank you for jumping on. I appreciate it. Renee Aradia says, how do you compare WMT against helium? I don't know too much about helium. People mention helium to me, but I'm going to be honest, I don't know too much about them. So I won't try to comment because I don't know enough about them to even comment. Okay. That'd be nice. So obviously we're coming to the end of Q1. Hope more stablecoins and DApp launch on mainnet by Q3. I think that is 80 bond the James. I think that is certainly going to be true. I think we'll have a lot more projects launching on mainnet by Q3. I think you'll be in luck there because I think we'll have a lot more projects launching by Q3 for sure. Okay, there's a response on the helium question. And Lynn says, I'm originally from New Jersey. We're putting pineapples on pizza. Can get you 20 years in prison. Yes, I have definitely seen a lot of pineapples on pizza, and it is a very different situation on the East Coast of North America than it is on the West Coast. I would agree with that very strongly. What do I know? It says TVL over 200 plus million with less than 5 DApps. June will be wild. I think you're talking about Cardano. And I believe we're over 300 million. I think we're over 300 million TVL now. We went over the DeFi Llama graph in tonight's video that came out at midnight, kind of contemporaneously with this live stream, and I think we're over 300 million. Mike Adams says, I don't feel sad for the JP scandal deniers because they said a lot of crap about Cardano. Likewise, likewise, man. I'm like, hey, you guys deserve what you get. So I also don't feel too bad for them. Okay. Anlin says, and yet ETH maxis think that Charles not having PhD is worse than JP Morgan owning ETH infrastructure. I bet Laura Shin didn't mention that in her book, but I digress. I think you're right. I think Laura Shin did not, she probably did not devote a huge amount of time. I don't know. I don't know if those facts had risen to public attention when she was writing that book, but I think you're right. I think Laura Shin is the type who would probably not spend a lot of time on JP Morgan ownership of, possible ownership, possible control of Infura and MetaMask in her book. So I think you're probably right. Yeah, I mean, I've said it before on the channel, but I back in the 2014, 2015 period, if I'm remembering correctly, I spent a lot of time trying to day trade, basically day trade Bitcoin, and I was spending a lot of time consuming TA and doing kind of my own technical analysis, probably, very terribly by the standards of people who believe in TA. And I can't help but sympathize with what you're saying here, Ryan. I did not find it to be effective either. Crawford Fortune. Crawford Fortune says technical analysts, YouTubers are like meteorologists. They only have to be right every now and they get to keep their jobs. This is definitely true. What I find is that they are right every now and then. But I mean, come on, it's like it's gonna go up, it's gonna go down, or it's gonna go sideways. So, you got it's a limited multiple choice we've got going on here. So they're gonna be right some of the time. Okay. Mike M says Jed might be out by the time Hard Fork comes out. Fingers crossed. Many good things happening. Yeah, that'll be interesting. Sin Wasad, what's up, man? He says, Army, good evening. Got my hoodie. Oh, thank you. Thank you for buying the hoodie. I appreciate that. Says, I have to go to work. Have an amazing day, all. You too. Have a great day. Thank you. Thank you for buying the hoodie. I really appreciate that. Thomas Kirkpatrick says on the website they state early Q2. That'd be nice. That'd be nice if we saw early Q2. Definitely like that. True story, at least in my neck of the woods. The boomers definitely have all the money. That is definitely true. Okay. Yeah, tonight in the video I released at midnight, MinSwap TVL flipped Sunday swap. So there you go. Gaike, thank you for jumping on, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for being here. Thomas Kirkpatrick says he respects anybody pushing the space forward. Chingpeng Zhao included. Yep. Yeah, I mean, he's obviously played an important role in crypto, whether you think he's good or bad. He's played an important role for sure. Okay. Yeah, there's some truth. There's some truth in this. Anlin says it is the CBDCs that could be used for dystopian control over humanity. I don't think Ada is going for that. Yeah, I strongly agree. It is not going for dystopian control over humanity. um, oh, this is an interesting question from Token Jogan. Will regulation concerns prevent you from utilizing protocols such as Indigo with synthetic assets? Yeah, I mean, I haven't been shy about covering in the past. Rhetoric coming out of Gary Gensler, the head of the SEC. Synthetic assets are one of the things he has very prominently highlighted, like his what I interpret to be his belief that crypto synthetic assets are, you know, something he's paying a lot of attention to. I'm trying to choose my words wisely here, but it seems that synthetic assets are on a list of things that Gary Gensler's paying very close attention to. I don't know. I mean, I'll probably be like everybody else. I'll be paying very close attention to what the regulators say. It's so unclear. We have so little clarity on what the SEC is going to do, other regulators within the US. It's so complex. Um, I'll be I'll be watching. Maybe that's the best thing I can say. I'll be watching. I'll be very curious to see what regulators do just with DeFi as a whole. I think everybody's kind of holding their breath and waiting to see what the regulators do because there's been a lot of very strong rhetoric out of people like Gary Gensler. Um, about crypto DeFi. So I'm curious to see what happens. And I hate to seem like such a kind of like pragmatic realist, but I think we might see they might reveal their hands after the November elections. I think they're probably waiting. I think you could make a good argument that they're waiting until after November to really signal where they're going because they don't want to impact those elections. Um, but I'm anxiously waiting to see what happens for sure. Okay. Okay. AJ says, can't come up with a fancy tech question. Where else can I spread my ADA bag for staking? Ooh, complicated question. I'll let everybody else weigh in on that. I think that's susceptible to many different answers. So I can't provide you with economic or financial advice, so I can't answer that one. Ooh, gotta agree with this. East Coast has pizzas, West Coast has tacos. Agree. Okay. Patrick, thank you for jumping on, man. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you. Thank you for being here, as always. What are your thoughts on Meld? I'm kind of waiting to see what Meld produces. Um, I was impressed with they put out one of the earliest sort of that I consumed at least. They put out one of the earliest, like kind of comprehensive and very creative explorations of the of a possible solution to the concurrency issue. So I'm very curious to see what Meld puts out going forward. So we'll see. I'm curious to see what they put out. Okay. Nola O'Malley says, "Do you know how close we are to being able to interact with Cardano dexes on mobile and iPads, etc.?" People in the comments will know better than me, but I believe people were having good luck with MinSwap and mobile. I didn't try myself, but I saw people reporting on Twitter that they were quite impressed with MinSwap on mobile. Am I mistaken? Everybody else, give me your input on that. I believe people were pretty happy with MinSwap on mobile. Maybe I'm mistaken. TenQ says, any plans to reach out to Charles for an interview? CCV and CryptoJeb did some interviews, but we need an AOS Charles interview where you two nerd out on the technology. So people ask about this quite often. I don't even know what I would ask Charles. Um, I think I've followed the Cardano project so closely. I don't even know what I would ask the guy. That would be like a very difficult thing for me to come up with questions to even ask Charles. So, and yeah, that would be difficult to decide what to ask the guy. It's like if you told me I could sit down with him for like 20 hours and talk to him for 20 hours, then that would be easy. I'd be down anytime, night or day. But if you told me I had, like 30 minutes with the guy, 1 hour with the guy, then it becomes very difficult because I have no idea how to prioritize all the things I would ask him. So I know it's probably not helpful, but that's how I feel about it. Okay. Thomas, so somebody else was talking about transaction times this week, and they mentioned something like 10 minutes. Thomas Kirkpatrick says I do several transactions a day. It takes me 2 minutes tops. Um, that's kind of my experience. They've been pretty quick for me. Thunderpants says it is already the day after St. Patty's Day here. Had a whiskey or two last night. Yep, it's still kind of the night of St. Patrick's Day for me. Cardano ecosystem news. Timmy says, "Let's go, let's go, Timmy." Thank you for jumping on, man. I appreciate it as always. Just compiled. Thank you for jumping on from India. I appreciate it. What do I know says if ETH 2.0 doesn't make it out before the end of this year, I think we will have tremendous wealth transfer from top two cryptos. Yeah, I mean, this is I've covered this on the channel many times, but I think people I think there's a spectrum of people's understanding or expectation of when ETH 2.0 comes out. And definitely some part of that spectrum is sorely mistaken. So that'll be that'll be fun. It's been fun every year to watch this go down because every year a big part of the spectrum of belief has been has sort of like surrounded a mistaken expectation. So it'll be fun once again to watch a certain part of that spectrum be sorely mistaken. Rob, good morning. Thank you. Thank you for jumping on. Appreciate it. AOS DAO. Yeah, if we can find something something that we want to do. I obviously I've always got like 50 ideas in my head about things I'd like to do. But before we did anything really serious like that, I would want it to be something I would want it to be something valuable. I wouldn't want to just throw something out there. DAO or non-DAO project. I wouldn't want to throw something out there. I would want to be something that was involved a lot of utility and something really meaningful. So yeah. Timmy says, "What's your favorite analyst DEX DeFi platform, and why is it Genius?" I think, I think Timmy is a. I could be mistaken, but I think he's an ambassador for Genius Yield, which is why I think he's saying that. But very creative, very creative. By the way, I uh I want to thank Rob for what the Cornucopias team. If you guys don't know, Rob is is a co-founder of Cornucopias and the CTO of Cornucopias. I apologize if I'm messing up the title, but Cornucopias, I covered this on the channel, but Cornucopias recently, they had a mint of their GTI Javelin NFTs, and they weren't satisfied with the way the mint went, and they just decided to give back the money to the people who had already paid for their GTI Javelins, and just sort of give GTI Javelin NFTs for free to everybody who was in the queue, which was quite a substantial amount of ADA. I mean, I think we're talking on the order of something close to like a million ADA or something. They decided to just give these NFTs to everybody who had been in the queue because they weren't satisfied with the way the NFT mint went. So very commendable behavior by the Cornucopias project. So thank you to Rob and team for that on behalf of the Cardano ecosystem. I thought it was very Very commendable by you guys. Mike M says it seems like Pocahontas always pokes her serpent head out when we get past the Fed news. They're just hurting themselves. I think you're right, Mike. I think there's a correspondence between the dragon. He's talking about Elizabeth Warren. So Elizabeth Warren, the dragon, she really hates crypto, and we tend to see her right after some big movement by the Fed. We tend to see Elizabeth Warren bill, and it's like whatever is the hot topic du jour, she finds a way to connect that to some kind of bill she's introducing to somehow, fight crypto. So I've covered it a million times on the channel, but it's become almost hilarious to me how no matter what's going on, it's like, oh, Ukraine, we got to restrict crypto so that Russian oligarchs don't use crypto to launder their money. I have a feeling like something's going to happen on the moon, and Elizabeth Warren's going to be like, problem with the moon. We need to introduce a new bill to regulate crypto so it doesn't interfere with the moon's orbit with Earth. It's like comet comet approaching too close to Earth's orbit. Need to introduce some crypto bills, some anti-crypto bills. So she really hates crypto. In fact, I speculated a little bit on in the video I released at midnight tonight about why I think that is. Of course, she and her supporters would vehemently disagree with my analysis, I'm sure. Okay. Uh, Ten Tenq says Charles has taken over both interviews, but I'm more interested in seeing the AOS interview and deep diving the technology, just not the gold that come out of that. Yeah, no, I mean it's like a granted. Like Charles, I don't even know how many questions you could get in a Charles interview. Because I mean the dude is like he's like he would be an amazing interview subject for anyone because you could name anything. It's like, Charles, what do you think about de-extinction of mammoths? And if you need him to, the guy could talk for 4 hours. It's like, Charles, what do you think about healthcare? And it's like you could pick like 50 different topics within healthcare, and you could talk for, like 12 hours on each of them. Name any topic, and the guy can talk forever. So perfect interview subject in a lot of ways, but how many questions you get in is kind of like how deep do you want him to go? How deep do you want him to go? Because the guy has a lot to say on a lot of different topics. So okay. Okay, and Lynn says, I think TA will be more accurate after mass adoption. When the entire market isn't attached to BTC movement and we don't move 25% because Jerome Powell has indigestion that day. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We've always I mentioned this, I think, in yesterday's video, but we've been sort of like waiting for the day of mass adoption in crypto for a long time. Uh, or not mass adoption. I apologize. Decorrelation. We've been waiting for decorrelation from the other asset markets for a long time. Like we've been sort of praying for the day when just because the S&P and the Dow and the Nasdaq take a hit, the crypto markets don't have to take a hit. When we get there, I don't know. We'll see when we get there, but we definitely haven't achieved decorrelation yet. I hope we get there. We'll see. Okay. Okay. Austin says the face shield from Amazon. I like it, but I've never seen one worn before. No, this did not come from Amazon. Maybe they have similar things. They probably have similar things, but this one didn't come from there. Okay. That thoughts on Drakkard's Fire NFT PDE game, play to earn game on Cardano. I've heard the name. I don't know anything about it. Tell me about it. I don't know anything about it. Do you guys like turtle? Are you talking about like turtles as in true turtles, which are aquatic, or are we talking about turtles and tortoises? So I think these are two different topics. Um, and I don't know if you guys have different feelings on tortoises and turtles, but I feel like they're pretty different. Brian Teglu says the answer is a 6-hour live stream with you and Charles just hanging out having drinks. I almost think that the kind of questions I would most like to ask him are ones that would be inappropriate for public consumption, especially if I had him for 6 hours and drinks. The kinds of questions I would really like to know, I would really like him to answer, are probably ones that I wouldn't even want him to answer on YouTube. I'll let you guys speculate as to what those questions are, but honestly, the things that I would most like to know, like secretly, the things I would really like to know, are things that I wouldn't even want him to answer on YouTube. Okay. Oh, it looks like Thomas Kirkpatrick is also an old time Bitcoin guy, kind of similar timeline to myself. He says, I remember about 8 years back when I first started using Bitcoin, I would send it over from Circle to my wallet and have to wait over 24 hours for the land. Panic, thinking I messed up. Yep, I've been in that situation. Not with Circle, but similar situation. So okay. So Garden Block says I believe synthetic stocks were outlawed in the 1920s. There was a name for them, but for the life of me, I can't recall what they're called. We've always had this concept. We had bucket shops. So a bucket shop back in the old days was um, something where somebody goes. You could open up a shop. Let's say you're in whatever town, and you open up a shop on Main Street, and you just start telling people like, "Hey, um, we're selling stocks." And, they come in, they're like, I want to buy, $5 worth of Ford Motor Company. And you're like, you just kind of like write down on a piece of paper, like Ford Motor Company, $5 worth of shares, and you kind of like sign it and hand it to them. And then, they might come back in a week and say like, okay, I noticed that, Ford Motor Company, I heard on the radio that the share price went up, so I'm ready to cash out. And then you just cash them out. But in fact, you never owned any Ford Motor Company shares to sell them, and you never sold them any. They never had any. You never had any. You just offered them we'll use the term fake exposure to Ford Motor Company stock, and you let people buy and sell Ford Motor Company. We would call this like a bucket shop. So we've had this concept for a really long time. Bucket shops, they're illegal in North America. You can't have them. And I'm not trying to compare crypto synthetic platforms to bucket shops. I'm not trying to be derogatory in any way, but that's definitely the term I most often hear applied to this kind of like old-timey version of, non-real exposure to those kind of assets. Okay. Ukraine. Mike M says Ukraine just legalized crypto to facilitate the victims of Putin, and right after that, Senator Warren pops her head out and wants to shut down exchanges. Politically a bad move by Warren. Yeah, I mean, if you read it, if you read into that what Zelensky signed in Ukraine, it was a little bit less than sort of like an El Salvador legal tender kind of move by Ukraine. But I think it's great. I think it's great that they're moving towards acceptance of crypto. Is the AOS validator planning on offering Husky coins as a reward? Nope, we have no plans towards Husky. No current plans towards Husky. Antlin says Senator Warren took me off of the hearing this morning. She wouldn't listen to anything said that wasn't in line with her narrative, taking over Mr. Levin as he was explaining why she wasn't right. Yeah, I listened to that this morning. She has a tendency to her interrogatories are not they're not she's not actually seeking information from the witnesses. She's just trying to make a statement. Her questions, her interrogatories are actually statements. and she's not really interested in what the witness has to say. So I would agree with that. Timmy says that's right. He's a genius young ambassador. I thought I remembered seeing that. I think that's right. Sven Minmo says we love you, Rob. I think he's referring to Rob of Cornucopias. Timmy says, "Hey Nikki, Trigano, Rob, epic javelin giveaway." I agree. When a project gives away that much value in like highly sought after NFTs, I mean, I think you can't help but apply the epic descriptor to that. Hey Austin, we've got an Army of Spies stake pool now. Ticker AOS if you're interested. There are many other good stake pools as well, but we've got one too. Yeah, that's kind of true. It is kind of the only project to ever do that. I mean, we've seen like Liquid give tokens to their Discord users. We've seen Sunday Swap give tokens to people, other projects like that. But this is the only time I can think of that a project set out to do a mint, wasn't satisfied with the way the mint went, and just decided to give it away to their community. So highly commendable for sure. Um, yeah, agreed. Agreed. I get I cannot yeah, I cannot disagree that the team at Ergo has a world-class talent. I mean, when you have Charles Hoskinson speaking so highly of them, I can't help but agree. I mean, and when I think about like what it would look like if you took proof of work as far as it can possibly go. Like, what is the highest tech version, the most advanced version of proof of work that you could possibly come up with in 2021 or 2022? It's like, it's got to be Ergo, right? Truck Tunnel says, "Does AOS know about our family arrangement, Timmy?" I do not know. I do not know about any family arrangement between you and Timmy. I do not know about that. If that helps. Okay. Yeah, this is true. Yeah, we covered this on the channel, and Land. Even Vitalik said he wasn't sure when 2.0 would be done, but we get lambasted if Cardano. I know. It's like Cardano a day late, complete failure. Ethereum like 5 years late, like deliberative. It's like good due diligence if Ethereum is years late. Vergoden says Hoskins. I think you mean yeah. Hoskinson is an ENT. Are you talking about like the personality descriptor? Is that what you're talking about? Turtles, Mike M. Still talking about. Are we talking about turtles? Like kind of like the common nomenclature that takes in both tortoises, like the land dwelling, desert traveling, non-aquatic tortoises, as well as turtles, as in like like the gigantic sea turtles? Or are we just talking about like aquatic sea turtle and turtles? What are we talking about? Turtles or tortoises? I think is important. One Trivia Planet. Hey, how's it going? Thank you for jumping on. Hey, are you a Mets fan? Which Mets are we talking about? Which Mets are we talking about? Yep, a lot of NFT ones, or a lot of Metaverse ones, a lot of Metaverse NFTs in Cardano. Yeah, I think this could be the most exciting time for Cardano the next year. I think it could be a very exciting time for Cardano for sure. Agreed. She hates crypto. She definitely hates crypto. I've like a couple different theories about why she hates crypto. But I think one of them is like she like the long toll pole in her policy town was always like, I'm tough on Wall Street, I'm tough on finance, and then it's like crypto comes along and crypto, has the potential to actually solve a lot of the problems with the unequal economic playing field. And I think that could be one reason why she doesn't like crypto, because crypto is like sort of has the potential to solve some of the problems she always made, like, sort of like one of her big policy goals. But then you've also got her, if you look at her donor list, which we have on the channel before, it's full of big tech companies, big decentralized tech companies. And obviously, our goal in crypto is to decentralize everything, including those companies. So, I mean, that could be a reason too. But she definitely doesn't like crypto. She doesn't love us. She's not romantically in love with us. I don't know if any of y'all were trying to get in a romantic relationship with the dragon, with Elizabeth Warren, but if you were, she's not romantically in love with any of us. Just so you know. Defeated Orc is hitting the sack. Thank you for jumping on and watching the videos. Appreciate it very much. Lars is a hero for him to come around to his stream to put all of mathematics on Cardano. Yep, I agree. I agree. Lars is a hero. Just for the even just for the Plutus education he's done, he's definitely a hero. Austin, thank you for delegating, man. I appreciate it very much. I do appreciate it very much. Dejan is giving a little explanation of, I think, of the estimation of transaction times earlier. Okay, yeah. So going back to the bucket shop thing, Garden Block says, sorry to dig deeper. Would you be able to differentiate between bucket shop stocks and synthetic crypto tokens representing stocks listed on the NYSE, etc.? Never been able to wrap my head around this. Okay, yeah, no, synthetic assets representing securities like this, like equity securities. It's pretty much the modern day version of what those bucket shops were doing. In the case of the bucket shops, I mean, like the sort of like, archetypal description is they're just like, writing down like, Mark Jones owns 50 shares of Ford Motor Company, and, kind of throw that in the bucket. That's one of the that's a position, that's a stock position that somebody owns, one of our customer owns. Don't forget about that one. And in the case of crypto synthetic asset platforms, it's much more complex, right? They're doing much, 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 much more complex stuff, but we are still talking about someone creating a system to give someone exposure to a an equity securities position without actually purchasing those equity securities. So the, you know, same concept, just a very different level of technological sophistication to accomplish it. Basically, like we've got this constant feed of the securities prices. If you look at, let's say, Tesla stock, we can say like, okay, we pretty much know for all hours of the day that Tesla is being traded, we pretty much know what that price is, and we can have oracles deliver that price to any kind of smart contract, any kind of blockchain use case we want. We can have an oracle deliver that price, all the time to our, blockchain use case. And we can say like, hey, here's a token. This token is going to correspond to the price of that Tesla security. And, this will be your exposure to the ups and downs of that security. But in fact, none of us are actually going to buy that security. We're not going to like buy that security and give you exposure that way. We're just going to kind of peg the value of this token to that security. So I mean, that's basically what the bucket shops were doing by writing your name on a piece of paper and, throwing that in the proverbial bucket. Obviously, with crypto synthetic platforms, you can do this on a much more sophisticated level, and there's a million different things they can do with that. But both, you could argue that one is like a very primitive, rudimentary form of synthetic exposure to that equity security asset, and one is like a much more sophisticated version of the same thing. I don't know if that's helpful, but there you go. I don't think anyone knows. When will ETH move to mainnet proof of stake? I don't think anyone even knows, including Vitalik. Oh, I missed it. Did you guys make a Lord of the Rings reference? I totally missed it. Please do send it to me. I totally missed it. Yep, dollar cost averaging, always my preferred means of acquiring Cardano as well. Capitalist Pig, thank you for jumping on. I appreciate it. Abel Mart, New York Mets baseball team. Sorry. Oh yeah, when you said Mets, it's like there's a bunch of there are actually Cardano Metaverse projects that use that Mets abbreviation as well. So I wasn't sure what you were talking about, but you were actually talking about the New York Mets. There you go. I'm sure you'll find some fellow Mets fans. Okay. Cardano, Poland, thank you for joining. Appreciate it. Yeah, I think they're both great. I kind of covered it in the video tonight. I think MinSwap with their Zap feature, I think they're bringing some new things to the table that I think are going to become, standard features for Cardano AMMs. I think everybody's going to have, one-sided liquidity provision. If you've only got one token in the trading pair, I think every DEX is going to have that. So I'm going to bring new stuff to the table. I also like how they're categorizing their yield farming returns with their, lion farm, tiger farm, cat farm, dog farm, whatever it is. I like how they have these different tiers to make it easy for people to identify what the return is. To some extent, it's a little bit hazy, but I like it. No, I think they have serious. So Trigano's asking, you think ETH is waiting for clear regulations before going to proof of stake? No, I think they pay attention to what's going on regulatorily, but I think it's too optimistic to assume that it's regulation that's holding them up. I think they have serious technological problems. There are serious hurdles to cross before they get to proof of stake. So I mean, they got very smart people over there. Like, don't think that they're not very smart. There are very, very smart people working on these problems in Ethereum. So there's very smart people over there. I think it's just there's like very serious hurdles to cross. I think they would go there regardless of the regulation. I mean, They did an ICO. They launched the DAO, or we can say inside the Ethereum ecosystem, the DAO was launched. If they were worried about regulation, I don't know they would have done either of those two things. So I think they would do it. I think it's a hard problem. Okay. Okay. Timmy says, although it might be financial advice, also curious to know how AOS thinks about portfolio strategy, Bitcoin stock split versus ADA, but I think some of that gets into financial advice. Yeah, you're right. I have feelings on that. I actually have like a strong position on that, on those kinds of issues, but I can't I can't give that kind of financial advice. And even if I could, I don't feel like anybody really has good advice on that, to be honest. I do believe in dollar cost averaging, though. I believe in dollar cost averaging, and that's about it, as far as I go as in terms of asset allocation. Yeah, I mean they kind of they kind of disagree on whether or not they gave ETH a pass. For those of you who don't know, this is like a central issue in the XRP SEC controversy. Was ETH given a pass? If so, why? And the SEC is kind of like, well, we never gave Ethereum a pass. And then XRP is citing certain public presentations given by SEC staff where they certainly, arguably sound like they're giving ETH a pass, but the SEC's like, oh, that was just a personal opinion of that person who was on the SEC staff. That wasn't our official SEC position. So there's lots on Twitter and other social media written about that. You can definitely explore that topic. But yeah, the SEC kind of disagrees whether or not ETH was given a pass. Okay, Moto Viking says Direct Cards is a play to earn NFT game where you battle with your NFT card. You can own a own building in the game and stake your NFTs in the building. Look it up. Okay. Okay, sounds cool. Sounds cool. Okay. All right, guys. We have been on for almost 2 hours. Let's have some last questions. Let's have some last questions. Okay, let's see. This is pretty good. Is is Vitamin still working on ETH, or does he provide opinions only? I think Vitamin provides opinions only. So he's obviously very influential, but I think even Vitamin himself, Vitalik, has said he is more kind of up in the he's kind of up in the ivory tower. He's kind of just like, saying like, "Hey, I think we should go in this direction," and it's other people actually implementing that. But it's kind of informal. I mean, it's kind of he has kind of a symbolic position, but I think he just kind of like lays down his opinion, and it's obviously very influential. But I think Vitamin is kind of up in the tower, sort of speaking down onto the masses, telling them what he thinks, and they just kind of it just kind of influences the direction. Abel, thank you so much. I appreciate that. How many networks do you think will succeed, let's say in 7 years? Tough question. When you ask that question, I have to think to myself, is the question sequential, like cyclical, like one network rises, then it's replaced by another one? Or are we just saying like contemporaneously, how many networks will command significant market share? I think we're gonna have different networks commanding different market share, and we'll also have like this sort of cyclical one network rising and then another replacing it, and then a few years later another one replacing that. I think Cardano has done something different in the sense that Cardano was definitely built to last a lot longer than, I think, in the words of Cardano, well, the Salunavax uh, genre of Gen 3 competitors. I think maybe we were built to last a little bit longer than them. So I hope we're a bit more immune to this kind of like cyclical rise. But will there be, like balkanization of market share? Yes, that as well. Okay. Garden Block, thank you so much for saying that. I appreciate it very much. Aunt Lynn says it's 1 a.m. here. I'm getting tired. Much love, everyone. Let's go. Eddie Gang. Thank you for jumping on, Aunt Lynn. I appreciate it very much. Is crypto too big to fail? Good question. I think Elizabeth Warren would say no. I think we might disagree, but she would say no. I think she would say definitely let's have it fail. Looks like Pavia is very ambitious. I agree. Yeah, they do seem very ambitious. Okay. Thomas Kirkpatrick, if someone offered you 10 million ADA, drop all your ADA and leave the ecosystem, or take 1 million ADA you can stake but can't accumulate any more outside of staking. Okay, so the choices are 10 million. I'm interpreting that to be 10 million USD. 10 million USD, but you have to give up all your ADA and leave the ADA ecosystem, or take 1 million ADA you can stake but can't accumulate any more outside of staking. Which would you choose? Do I get to, in that latter case, do I get to keep my current ADA? Yeah, I think I need more details on that one. I need to know if I can keep my current ADA on that. Because we're actually solving the blockchain trilemma. It's because the Ethereum maximalists don't care if you're super centralized and you achieve scalability and arguably security. They don't care because they know they can always just say like, oh, they're not decentralized, right? But if you're actually decentralized and you're attempting to achieve scalability and you seem to have maybe even better security than Ethereum, I think you could definitely argue we've had fewer exploits. We're younger on the smart contract piece, but we've had fewer exploits. That's for sure, because Ethereum is definitely a robbery forest. Then I think they're going to talk pretty negatively about you because you're threatening. I think that's where Cardano is. George Gale, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. And to you, my friend. No, oh no, I cannot keep my current ADA. Ooh. Ooh, I don't know. I don't know. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. I'll have to think about that. That's pretty tough. Um, oh, and Lynn, she knows exactly which presentation I was talking about earlier. She says the irony is that in the library case, the SEC is arguing that it was Bill Hinman's personal opinion, but in the Ripple case, it was SEC guidance. These cases are happening concurrently. Yeah, I know. I know. I know. No, Thomas is doubling down on his scenario. No crypto forever. Ooh, that's tougher. Just 10 million and I'm out of crypto forever. That's that's pretty harsh, bro. That's pretty harsh, man. Yeah, 10 million, but I'm out of crypto. I can never be involved in crypto again. I think I got it. I think I have to choose crypto. I didn't expect you to say that. I didn't expect that, but I think I want to stay in crypto over. I'm out of crypto forever. Oh, good work. Good work, Abel. Congratulations, man. Yeah, I know. Top of the morning to you too, Rob. I know it's morning time for you. So thank you for jumping on so early in the morning. Work shirt. Thank you for jumping on. I appreciate it. Good night. What do I know? Thank you for jumping on. Appreciate it. Are you on Odyssey? I'm not. I'm not on Odyssey. Would you change your name to Gollum Gensler for 2.5 million? No, I definitely would not. I definitely would not, especially given all the inflation. I mean, 2.5 million ADA. You could burn. I mean, you buy a house, and you're gonna burn through the rest of that pretty quick. At least in North America, in a lot of places, including where I am. Happy St. Patrick's Day, Thomas Kirkpatrick. All right. Um, okay, we've been on for 2 hours and 5 minutes. Mark Page, Arwell from Australia. Thank you for jumping on. I appreciate it. I think we've about 2 hours and 5 minutes is a pretty good amount of time for a live stream like this. It was kind of an impromptu one where we had a normal video tonight as well. I think I'm probably gonna jump off unless there's any last questions. Any last questions, and then we'll jump off. No, I'm not into privacy coins. I just wanted the channel to stay focused on Cardano. I didn't want it to be about me because the second I'm not anonymous, then it's gonna become a little bit about me. It's gonna become a little bit about me, and I don't think that's the interesting thing. I think Cardano is the interesting thing, so that's why I stay anonymous. Also, I kind of like being anonymous too. Yep, yep, yeah. There was a lot of content today. Thank you for jumping on, by the way, Timmy. I appreciate it. Nikki, likewise. Thank you for jumping on. Can you touch your toes like on camera? Probably not. Not without. I mean, I'll be completely off camera. I don't think that's what we're going for. Yeah, I don't think I want to. Okay. Yep, I think questions are slowing down. So thank you everyone for jumping on this morning. I hope everybody had a great St. Patrick's Day. Hope you had a great week, and I will talk to you soon.